Hey VW lovers, time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So let's talk about what Rafa worked on today. So he finished a couple last details on the 62 Bug. So by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, I did finally do the detailed walk around of this video. I will upload that tonight too. If I haven't already, when you're watching this, look out for it. It'll be there. So on this one today, Rafa just did a few little things. He greased the front suspension. You may remember we put a new beam on it, so we had to grease that up. The tachometer, the way he had it wired originally, was kind of misbehaving, so he changed a wire. It has a couple potential inputs that you can use, and turns out the one he chose didn't seem like it was the best one for this particular car, so he tried the other one and boom, worked perfect. So yeah, fixed the tachometer, greased the front end. What else? Yeah, I think those are kind of the main things. Not a whole lot on this car today. We did do some touch-up paint on the car, and one of the things was one of these little tabs here that, in fact, this one that holds in this sound deadening had actually broken off at some time a long time ago, I think before we even had our hands on the car. And it had been kind of like literally JB welded on there. Well, we went ahead and welded that thing on there today, so it's finally fixed appropriately. And what else? Yeah, I think that's it for this car. Just, a couple loose ends. I need to double check the alignment tomorrow. And I think we need to polish a few of the little paint touch-up spots that we did. But other than that, this car is ready to go back to the owner. I'll miss having it in the shop because it's beautiful and gets a lot of attention, but we'll bring in something else. So thanks to the owner for bringing it in and trusting us with his baby. Hope he's happy with what we've done. So Rafa, after he finished that, he moved on. We're also trying to get this one going here. It's been kind of hanging out in our shop for a while. We waited for some different things. This one also needed some paint touch-up, so we were waiting to get some paint mixed up. Finally got that, did that touch-up, so now we're kind of back full speed ahead on this one. So Rafa kind of focused on the front of the car today. So the owner had an original antenna. The brand of that, I cannot remember. Let's see, this is the box from it. Snyder. I mean, this box alone is just mint. So yeah, new old stock antenna. Oops, it was mint until I dropped it. Just kidding. Yeah, so installed that antenna today. Bitchin' antenna. I mean, look at that. Like I said, kind of focused on the front of the car. So he went ahead and installed the VIN tag and the little made in West Germany badge using appropriate hardware for it. So it looks really, really nice. What else? He put in the front trunk liner and the wiring cover in there. So this is all cleaned up now. Looks amazing. Let's see, I think on this one he also greased the front end. It had never been done before. He performed a front wheel alignment. It was off a ways. The Zerk fittings were missing on the front end, so he put those in obviously before he greased it. Yeah, just some little details like that. We're just kind of going over this car with a fine-tooth comb. A lot of work had been done on the car prior to coming into our hands, so now we're going and kind of checking things and dotting I's and crossing T's and so on, and getting this car hopefully go back to its owner probably next week, maybe by the end of next week. Getting down to kind of the nitty gritty here on little things that we're finishing up. We ordered some hubcaps today, so we'll get those and we'll paint the logos black. That's going to make a huge difference. Get those white walls cleaned up. They're kind of ugly. Real beauty though. We'll miss this one too when it's gone. I mean, between this car and this one, if you like Beetles, I mean, come on. These things, both of them, just amazing. Love having them in the shop. But again, time to move on, get them back to their owners for them to enjoy them. We can't just hog them forever. Yeah, still waiting on the ashtray for that panel back there, which is just sitting there. Owner is on the hunt for one. I think he found one. So yeah, hopefully wrapping this one up soon. So let's talk about what I did. I got in a bit late today because I went to the doctor for my 2-week post-surgery visit, and you can see they got rid of that huge thing that I had on there, that huge splint. Have a removable one on now that I can actually remove when I take showers or want to thoroughly wash my hand or whatever. It's still pretty ugly under there. I was actually a bit shocked when they took off the splint that was on there. It's very swollen and it's not pretty. It's going to be a long road to recovery. I mean, in the meantime, I can move my fingers a lot better with this one on here, but still having some pain, still pretty limited motion, but long road ahead still. But, at least this is an improvement having this, smaller thing on here that doesn't make my hand 3 times its normal size. So that having been said, once I finally got to work on the Ghia, and probably hard to tell, but the wiring is tidied up quite a bit here. May make it a little bit better, but I'm actually pretty happy with it. I know it kind of looks worse for some reason on the video than it does in person, but again, these late cars, so many wires. It's really hard to make them as neat as they are on an early car, but we'll maybe tidy up a little bit more. So the horns today, I went and did kind of a cosmetic restoration on those. I had tested them previously and they work really well. So again, kind of cosmetically restored those, mounted them, wired them. I still need to get the little boots that go over those, so those aren't really plugged on all the way. They're just kind of sitting there for now, but as soon as those little boots come in, I'll install the wires for good. And then on Ghias, there's actually a boot that kind of seals these horns to that opening in the front of the body. I need to get one of those too and install that. The other thing is this car had a really nice original Bosch relay on it, which is probably hard to see, but really nice. It was being used for something else. I don't even know what. This car had relays all over it. So I went ahead and used this one for the horn relay, and I tested it. It works, or at least seemed to. I heard it clicking at least when I applied power and ground. So yeah, I think it works. And then what else? So I also started installing the radio on this. You may have heard me mention he got a retro sound radio, very similar to what we installed in the 62. And so retro sound thought that Karmann Ghias had for those of you that know radios, they thought that they used a DIN-sized radio, DIN. I don't know what that stands for, but it's kind of a standard radio size because it's got this big rectangular hole. It looks like it would be a DIN-sized radio, but guess what? It's not. So the DIN adapter is just way too big for that hole, probably like a 1/4 inch in each direction. I am not cutting this dash. So I'm gonna have to make some kind of adapter for the radio to fit in there and mount securely. I've got something in mind that I'm gonna do. So not a big deal, but it's part of car restoration. You go to put cars together, especially with aftermarket parts. You always run into this stuff that is supposed to fit just doesn't, and then you got to go and get creative and start making stuff. And I mean, to me though, that's actually part of the fun of working on these cars, is having to use some creativity and problem solving skills. So yeah, it's gonna look good and be solidly mounted. No Mickey Mouse stuff around here. So it'll end up being a very nice installation once I make an adapter for it. And I think that is about it for today, guys. So thank you for watching, and we will see you again soon. Bye.